At the age of 15, I've finished 9 years of regular school. At the age of 18, I've completed 3 years of vocational training, and it was a practical choice. We were trained in a certain area to get a job there. I was offered a job. They wanted 6 days a week, nearly the entire day for almost nothing, and I could no longer survive in the city. I had no other idea but to return to my parents' farm. I came to a tiny, poor, isolated village among the fields, to a little old house with many holes. It was so cold there in winter. We had a broken stove there. We always smelled smoke. During winter, it was a high level of humidity, and we had fungus and mold. We could not live there together with my family. My mom and my other siblings, they were living with my grandmother in another village where they had school, and I saw them only during summer. All other months I was working together with my father, and often he had to leave to sell beehive products to the city, and I could spend there all by myself up to a month. It was a huge stress to handle my present life reality. No school any longer, no job. What was I supposed to do now? All my friends went to universities. Most of my relatives told me that if I don't go to university, I will have no future. And I wanted to escape that hopelessness. And that's why I applied for university. I could only apply for a free university or a university where I could get scholarship. And with that idea, I felt less stressed about the real life I just realized. And all universities rejected me. And I thought that was the worst thing that could ever happen to me. I could continue to look for a better life and leave the farm, but there was one reason which helped me there. I wanted to help my family. We were building our first house where we could finally live and work together, and we were working very hard for this dream to come true. When my father had to leave to sell beehive products, I was staying with goats, taking care of them and doing my duties, and we actually saved a big deal of money because we had our own dairy. And that was that exact time when I lost my friends and I felt the most rejected, because even my relatives, they neglected me because I still stayed with my parents, and it seems for them that I chose a road to nowhere, doing all this dirty work, living in isolation and poverty. It was a lot of work on the bee farm, and often we overworked till late night, and no mistakes were tolerated because we had time frames. I had to learn how to manage time in order to get everything done. I had to be creative to handle any issue that could occur during the work, and basically during that time I was learning how to work. Also, I was observing the natural world, and I saw how everything works in precision by laws, and it's the only way it can work. Bees can even kill and replace their own queen bee if she's not fulfilling her mission in the beehive, or they risk to die. And it impressed me so much because it's tough. Or if I don't feed the goat, I can't get milk. Everything is pretty tough, and there is no room for laziness, irresponsibility, disorganization, sometimes emotions or feelings in order for things to work. And natural laws, they are so simple, there is no need to create new ones, they won't work. Another observation, bees produce beeswax only during certain time of the year when they collect honey, and they can preserve over 2 kilos of honey with just 100 grams of beeswax. And even though the honeycomb construction seems to be so fragile, it's durable enough to carry such a weight, and it can last for years. And not only bees use honeycomb to store honey, they use it to raise bee larvae. And there is no room for wastefulness, but the opposite, such an economy, precision, organization, multi-use, and it's just a tiny bit of my observations, and that's how I was learning fundamental lessons right on the farm. Not only I was working, I was reading books. I learned English on the farm, and one day I found out how to make all-natural soap with beeswax, honey, and goat milk. And finally, I found something I can do with what I have, where I am. And because at that time I couldn't afford hobbies, it had to be something profitable. I needed to work. Later on, it became my business.